Hey everybody, the Plastic Commando here. So this evening we're going to do a solo game, my first YouTube solo attempt at Rome: Fall of the Empire. And this, of course, is a historical board gaming production. And let's do a brief view of the map. Everything is set up according to the setup chart. So we'll just do a kind of a quick pan of all of the belligerents set up and ready to go, including the neutrals. And of course, up in the far right corner, we've got the Huns ready to go. And then we have our Roman capitals. Got the Goths right there in the middle, jumping at the bit. We got the Franks ready to lay waste to Western Europe. Then we got the Western Roman Empire that's going to be standing in their way. Okay. All right. So we got the income tracker ready to go, as you see on the bottom of the map. Okay. All right. And we've got the battle board over here. This is my custom board, old school style, with the black silhouettes. And we've got the income for each faction. And in my previous video, I had noted that my plan was to use the old plastic coins from Conquest of the Empire. And then I realized that when I started to do that, you need actually 3 denominations. So I'm going to be using some poker chips that I've got. I've had these for a while, and I've got more somewhere in storage. So it's been a long time since I pulled these poker chips out, but they're actually very appropriate for this game. Got some of the Roman style beveling around the chips. So in any event, we're going to be using the chips, denominations of 1, 5, and 25. So that's the one change up from the introductory video. And then of course we have all of the nice cases with all the parts and the pieces. We've got a historical board gaming snap dice tray. Of course, this is a Spartan warrior. I'm hoping that maybe Doug at Historical Board Gaming can give us a Roman soldier. I think that would be very appropriate for the game. But nevertheless, this is a nice snap tray. So, and we've got plenty of dice lined up, ready to go. And so, oh yeah, one more favorite. This is a beer and pretzel game, so we have our beverage of choice lined up, ready to go. So, all right, let's get to round 1. Okay, real quick, before we get to round 1, I meant to go over a few housekeeping rules here. So the victory conditions, real quick, for the Western Roman Empire as well as the Eastern Roman Empire are essentially controlling 1 province in each of the starting barbarian tribes. Okay, so in other words, 1 yellow, 1 green, 1 blue. And since the Romans are basically on the same team, if you will, they can win collectively. So as long as there's 3 tribe provinces that are conquered, then the Romans will effectively win and meet their victory condition. And then with the Sassanids have to hold 5 provinces in the purple region, and those are going to be Asiana, Galatia, Lycia, Cappadocia, and then lastly Pontus. So if the Sassanids are able to hold those at the end of the round, then they'll meet their victory conditions and win the game. The Huns, what the Huns have to do is storm down from the east into the Roman Empire, and basically they'll just need to have a total of 4 provinces, any 2 red, any 2 purple, and hold those, and then the Huns will effectively win the game. Now the Goths, they'll need 5 provinces to hold, a combination of purple and red, essentially right here in the middle. And those provinces are going to include Thracia, Moesia, Macedonia, Achaia, and then Dalmatia. Okay, so that'll be the target for the Goths. And then the Franks. The Franks are going to also, in turn, have to hold 5 provinces in red. And those provinces are the province of Lugdunensis, Aquitania, Belgica, Germania Superior, and then Cottier. Okay, all right. And then I'm playing with the general variant rule. So I'm not quite certain what the final version of the variant rule is, since I had originally a download from Historical Board Gaming before the box set edition came out. But nevertheless, the variant rule that I'm playing for with the generals will be each faction at the beginning of the game will roll a die, and a die roll of 2 or less will successfully allow a faction to start with a general at the beginning of the game, and the ones that obtain the general, they can place it in any of their starting province. Okay, so that'll be the general rule, the variant rule that I'm going to be using at the start of the game. Like I said, I'm not quite certain how the other rule is with the final version, but I kind of like the idea of rolling die, because some powers may get a general, some may not get one, and that could also influence the direction of the game at the very beginning. So let's go ahead and take care of that right now. And I've got a die for each power. You'll notice each one is colored. So again, a 2 or less is what we're looking for to successfully obtain a general at the beginning of the game. So let's see what we got. Okay. All of that for nothing. So no faction will have a general at the beginning. So it's on to round 1. Okay, Western Romans combat movement. We're going to move 1 cavalry into Terra Deserta, take on one of the neutrals, as well as an infantry unit. Okay, and although the cavalry unit can actually essentially move twice if successful and launch another combat attack, we're going to leave this guy alone for the time being. And then we're going to move the one infantry up into the northern neutral province. Okay, and then also we're going to load 1 cavalry unit and move up as well. All right, and then we'll go ahead and since there's only just a few units, rather than place them on the battle board, I'm going to go ahead and take care of these where they are. All right, so got 2 die for the Western Romans, 1 infantry, 1 cavalry. All right, and then infantry has a combat attack of 1, while cavalry 2. Okay. All right, so we got 2 for the cavalry. Okay, we missed on the infantry. So that'll take care of the neutral. However, the neutral does have a roll in return, and that'll be a combat defense of 2. and the neutral misses. All right, so the Romans successfully take Terra Deserta. Okay, like I said, we're going to leave the cavalry there rather than continue on. Okay, and then in northern Britain, we're going to launch an attack with cavalry and infantry. So again, we're looking for cavalry with a combat of 2, infantry 1. Okay. All right. So we got 1 hit, and that'll take care of the neutral. And then the neutral will roll for their defense. Again, combat defense of 2. Okay, and they miss as well. So a successful attack, small scale attack by the Western Romans proved successful. So that'll take care of combat movements at the beginning, and then we'll go into non-combat movements. So before we do that, let's go ahead and put our markers down. Okay. Then the Western Romans started out at 30 on the income tracker. That'll put them up to 32. Okay. All right. So now non-combat movement. We're going to move 1 infantry unit 1 space in Spain. And basically, the beginning movements for the Western Romans are just going to be shifting positions, moving up forces. Okay. We'll have 2 infantry in Germania Superior. We're going to move a cavalry as well. We've got a total of 6 infantry from Italia that will be moving up north to join the 1 infantry. Okay. And in Noricum, have 1 infantry. We'll be moving the 2nd infantry, and then 1 catapult to help bolster the defense. Okay. And the 1 infantry in Pannonia we'll keep. No, actually, yeah, we'll keep that in Pannonia for now. And that does it for the non-combat movements. Actually, not. Let's go ahead and move our galley 2 spaces. Should be 1, 2. Okay. All right. And then let's go to purchase and place new units. Okay. So the Western Romans have 30. And let's go ahead. I'm going to think about what I'm going to get. Be right back. Okay, so the Western Romans have decided with their 30 income to purchase 2 generals, 3 infantry, and then 1 cavalry for a total of 30. So they're going to spend the entire amount. And then placement of new units. We will put 1 general with the massed force on the border of the Franks. Okay, and then 1 general with the heavy stack of infantry on the southern border of the Franks. All right, cavalry unit. We will be placing near the Goth line. Okay, and then the remaining 3 infantry We're going to put one in Rome so as not to leave it empty, although I think we're pretty secure right now. We will put one up in Belgica, and then lastly, one in Dalmatia. Okay, so that will be the placement of the units. We're going to go ahead and collect income. Again, the income Western Romans will have will be 32, and then on to the Eastern Romans. Right, so the Eastern Roman Empire, they're going to forego any combat movement this round. So we're going to go straight to non-combat movement. And this galley will essentially load up 2 infantry. And we're going to drop them off up here in Syria. And that'll give a total of 4 infantry for the Eastern Romans in Syria. Okay. And then the remaining 2 in Egyptus will move into Palestine. Units in Cappadocia will remain. All right. The 2 cavalry units that are in Macedonia will move up into Moesia. Okay, and then 4 units in Thracia will remain. And that's going to do it for non-combat movement for the Eastern Romans. Okay, so we get into purchase and place new units. So the Eastern Romans started with, again, 30 total income. They have elected to purchase 1 general, 1 catapult, 1 cavalry, and then 3 infantry, with a remainder of 1, which they'll carry over for the next round. And then we'll go ahead and place these units. So the 1 general we're going to be putting in Cappadocia to help bolster the forces there. All right. Catapult will be going to Thracia. Okay, then we've got 1 cavalry unit, which will be going to Pontus. Okay. And lastly, 3 infantry units. We'll be placing 1 in Lycia, Galatia, and then we'll put 1 in reserve here in Macedonia. That'll take care of it. So the Eastern Romans, they will remain at 30 in income, and that will take care of the Roman movements. So now we will be off to the Sassanids. Okay, up next is the Franks. I know I said the Sassanids earlier, but never trust the Romans. So the Franks are going to do 2 combats, and you see they're marked. So initially, we're going to send in 3 Franks, 3 Frankish warriors into Frisia to attack the neutrals, and then that'll leave a total of 3 infantry there in Saxony. And you know what? Before I get busy, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I recall what that is. So, okay. So there'll be a remainder of 3 infantry there. And then Franks will be launching a large scale attack into Germania Superior, where we have 2 Roman infantry, 1 cavalry, 1 general. And so the Franks will be launching all the units within Francia. All right. And I'm going to gamble. We're going to send 1 more from Alemanni. Okay. So it'll be this row right here, including the 2 cavalry. And we're going to go ahead and put these guys on the battle board. We'll be right back. Okay, so we've got the Franks from province of Francia. They're attacking in the Germania Superior. We're going to roll for the infantry. We have 7 total Frankish infantry. All right, we're going to roll 6 die first. Then we're looking for 1 or less. Actually, perfect. I just rolled that over. So we had 3 1s initially. And we'll roll for the remaining infantry. Missed. Okay, so good opening start for the Franks. We got 3 hits. So the Romans will put 2 of their infantry in the casualty zone, as well as a cavalry unit. Okay, and now the Romans will, whoops, we got, it's not over yet. We have 2 cavalry that'll be attacking for the Franks. Okay, and those are combat attack of 2. So we'll go ahead and resolve this combat. And we got another hit. So yeah, great opening for the Franks. Okay, that's going to put the general behind the casualty line. So devastating blow for the Romans. So let's see what they can do to help take out some of these Frankish warriors. So we've got 4 total, but all 4 at 2 or less. Okay, and we'll see what comes up. We got a reroll, looks like, in the corner. Did get 1 hit though. So let's do another roll, and that's it. All right, pretty pitiful defense for the Romans. Okay, so that's going to do it. We'll take off 1 for the Franks. All right, let me get this cleaned up, and then we're going to finish up the last combat movement with the Franks attacking the neutrals. All right, we're going to finish up the Frankish attack into Frisia. So we're coming with 3 infantry, and there's opposing 1 neutral. So the Franks are looking for 1s, and we miss. Okay, and then combat defense of 2 for the neutral infantry. That's a big old miss, so we're going to continue. 3 infantry for the Franks. There's a miss. 1 defense for the neutral. There's a hit. Okay, so we're going to take off 1 Frankish warrior. Franks are stubborn. They're going to continue. Looking for 2 1s. Miss again. Now the defense for the neutral. Wow. Obviously, these warriors aren't cut from the same family that attacked earlier against the Romans. Wow. So the Franks say, we're going for broke. We're going to continue. Again, combat attack of 1. This is 1 tough neutral. Yes. Franks are going to continue. Got it. Okay, let's see if they can effectively take out the neutral. Again, 2 or less. And they do it. Go down to the wire. Well, overall, a great outcome for the Franks on their opening push. Okay, so we've already placed our marker in Germania Superior, and we're going to go ahead and put this in the neutral. So Germania Superior, just to recap, 2 cavalry. We have a total of 6 infantry. Again, just an awesome start for the Franks. The Romans, Western Romans, are very concerned right now, we'll say. And that's going to take care of all the combat for the Franks. Now we're going to do some non-combat movements, and I think what we're going to do, we're going to move the 2 infantry from Chatty into Frankie. All right, the 3 in Alemanni are going to remain just where they are. The 3 in Saxonies are going to stay there. They're looking across the pond at the Roman force, so they're going to stay put. And I think that's obviously it for the non-combat. We're going to purchase, place new units. The downside is the Franks only start out with a total of 8. And I believe the Franks are going to, what are the Franks going to do? I think the Franks will start with 1 cavalry unit for a total of 5. And then we will get 1 infantry purchase for a total of 3, and that's going to do it. So let's go ahead and place our new units. We'll put the cavalry is in Alemanni, and the 1 infantry unit we will be putting into Frankia. I'll say Frankia. Okay, so, all right, the Franks actually did increase their income. There's 1, and I believe this is 1 also. Correct. So the Franks are actually at 10. So we'll go ahead and make that correction to their income. And then next in the turn order is the Goths. Be right back. Okay, here we are at turn 4. It's the Goths. So the Goths have to try and strike out. They have to get income. So we're going to leave the neutrals alone. The Goths are depending on a buffer zone between them and the Huns right now. So I believe what the Goths' plan is, they're going to move initially three infantry. Check that. 4 infantry into Moesia. And then 2 cavalry will be coming from Sarmatia, also into Moesia. And that'll be the extent of combat movement. And then let's put these on the battle board and we'll return. Okay, so the Goths are in this game, the Goths are always in a tight spot. You know, you have to leave elements for defense for various reasons. You're surrounded. But we're going to go ahead and push forward. We've got 5 total, well, I should say, check that. I've got these in the wrong spot. Sorry about that. The infantry is attacking on 1. We've got 2 cavalry that are attacking on 2. So let's do the 4 infantry attacking at 1. Okay, we got 4 big goose eggs. All right, and then the 2 cavalry looking for 2 or less. Got 1 hit. We'll take that. Okay, we'll put one of the infantry in the casualty zone. And then so the Eastern Romans, we've got 2 cavalry, 2 infantry, all of which will be defending at 2 or less. Okay, we got 1 hit, unfortunately, for the Romans. Okay, so the Goths will take 1 infantry off, and they will continue. We've got 3 infantry looking for 1s. Wow, 2 hits. That's a great round of attack for the Goths. Okay, let's go ahead, take off the 2 here. Let's see, the 1 we need to take it off already. So we've got the 1 cavalry left. Okay. All right. And then, so the Goths will need to roll for 2 cavalry. And they got 1 hit, and that'll do it against the Romans. So we'll put these casualties here, all of which are defending on 2 or less. So we'll have 3 rolls to see if we can curb some of this Gothic invasion. All right, 1 flopped out. Got 2 6s. Okay, so we did get 1. All right. Again, not a very impressive defense for the Eastern Romans. We'll take off that one. And then let's return these back to the game map. All right, so we're done with combat, and the non-combat movement will be next. But actually, since we're over here, so on the collect income part as well, again, like the Franks, the Goths started off with 8, and they'll be purchasing 1 cavalry unit and 1 infantry. But before we get to placing the new units, let's do a little bit of non-combat. We did not do that. Which is not going to be much. The cavalry in Sarmatia is going to remain. The Marcomanni are going to stay put, -1. Let's grab another one over here. He will be moving into Sarmatia. The 2 in Dacia will remain, as will the 2 in Iazygus. Okay, so we do have the units that took over Moesia. We've adjusted the income tracker. Okay, so let's go ahead and place our new units. Again, we're purchasing 1 cavalry which we'll be placing in, help if I show it, in Dacia, and then the other infantry will be going into Dacia as well. Okay, so that's so the Goths did well for opening. They're on an income level of 9. So we'll go ahead and take care of the income for the Goths. And so yeah, successful for the barbarian tribes on the opening rounds. So now you can trust it. We're going to the Sassanids. Be right back. All right, turn 5, the Sassanids. So for combat movement, the Sassanids are going to attack the neutrals in Arabia. Neutral, I should say. They're going to be bringing 2 infantry, and hopefully they can get the job done, because they're going to send the remaining infantry over here into Syria, along with 4 more infantry from Assyria. And we're going to send some cavalry as well. So we're going to keep 3 cavalry in Armenia, and then 2 cavalry. I'll grab one out of the storage bin. 2 cavalry will be going 1, 2 into Syria. And that's going to be the extent of combat movement. So let's start with Syria. We'll go ahead and get that on the battle board. Be right back. All right, got them on the battle board. So we have 4 infantry for the Sassanids, and that's a combat value of 1. So we'll go ahead and roll for them. We got 1 hit. That one's more or less a 6. So we'll accept that one. So there's 1 hit for the Sassanids. And we'll move 1 infantry on the casualty zone. And then we have 2 cavalry at 2 or less. Okay, and we got 1 hit. Okay, and then the Eastern Romans will again choose infantry as a casualty. All right, so let's see what the Eastern Romans can do in defense. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 or less. Five, 2 or less is what we're looking for. So we have 3 in defense. So finally the Romans put up a decent defense. So there's 3 hits there. So we'll take 1, 2, 3 off for the infantry. Okay. And that puts the Sassanids in a decision mode at this point. Do they continue the attack? Take these 2 off. So there's Romans have 2 infantry, 1 cavalry left. We got 3 2s. Wow. Maybe taking a bit of a gamble there, but I don't know. I may have to, against my better judgment, or maybe actually better judgment, I think the Sassanids will retreat. So let's put these back into the adjacent province and be right back. All right, so the Sassanids retreated back into friendly Assyria, and they were going for the money in Syria, which is worth a value of 2, but I don't want to weaken the Sassanid army too much by trying to gamble and take Syria. So we retreated back. So let's finish up this final combat. Again, we have the 2 infantry coming into Arabia. They came from Babylonia. So let's go ahead and take care of these right here. So we got 2 infantry with attack of 1. And we miss. Roll for the neutral. Combat defense of 2. Miss. Okay, so Sassanid infantry will continue. And miss. And we'll see what the neutral does. They miss as well. Not a lot happening here. And that's a miss. Wow. Okay, the neutral, 2 or less. 6 again. So let's, and we're looking for 2 1s. Nothing again. Okay. Still nothing. Wow. Okay. 2 1s. We got a 1. So we did make a hit. And the neutral will defend 2 or less. And they also get a hit as well. So 1 for 1. We'll take it. Again, the assassins need additional income. We'll take that neutral off. Take one of the Sassanids off as well. And then we'll put a marker on Arabia. Okay. There we go. So that's a value of 1. Sassanids will now move to 11. Franks are 10. With the Goths right behind. Okay, so that's going to do it for combat. As far as non-combat goes, I think the Sassanids are good. They are going to keep. They're going to keep the 3 infantry units up here in Atropatene. We still have 4 cavalry in Armenia. And so we're going to move on down to purchase and place new units. Sassanids started out with 10. And I think in terms of the best value, we'll say, I think we would like to get a general, but I think in terms of value, Sassanids will go with a cavalry unit at cost of 5. Strike that. I think the Sassanids will get 2 cavalry units, so they'll use the entire 10. All right, and I think that's what we'll do. So we'll go ahead and take care of this off camera, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we got the income for the Sassanids adjusted. They end up with 11, and all the pieces are placed on the board, the map, excuse me. So now we're going into the final turn, turn 6, with the mighty Huns. And oh my goodness, they've already struck out. So let's see what's going on here. So the Huns have the massive force that starts out in the Lani. So we're going to be moving 1 cavalry, 2 infantry into Sakai. We've got 6 cavalry moving into Roxolani. We have a total of 7 cavalry and 1 infantry Sarmatay. And then up here to the north, we've got 6 cavalry, 1 infantry, hitting Barbaricum. So these are all neutral provinces. So the Huns are looking to try to reduce the size of that buffer zone really fast. So let's go ahead and roll for these, and we should be able to take care of these fairly quickly. We'll start at Sakai. All right, so we've got two attacking infantry. It's combat of 1, and then we have 1 cavalry. Combat attack of 2. Of course, they miss. So here's the defending neutral, 2 or less. That's a miss. So we'll go right back to the infantry. Miss. Okay, the 1 lone cavalry. That's a hit. Okay, then defending neutral. They miss at a 3. Okay, so that'll take care of Sakai. Then we go on to Roxolani. Again, we've got a total of 6 cavalry, 2 or less. Okay, got that over and over. So that'll take care of that infantry. We're going to go ahead and roll for the dead neutral. They miss at 5. Okay. So then up here in Sarmatay, we have 7 cavalry. Okay, we'll roll for 6. Of course, that's a hit right there. We got a 2. Okay, then we'll go ahead and roll for the neutral. They rolled a 6. Okay, so the Huns are on the march pretty much with ease. And then lastly, in Barbaricum, we'll go ahead and roll for the infantry first at a 1. They miss. And then we have 6 cavalry. And we've got a hit. We've got a 1 there, so that'll take care of the neutral. They will respond though, and they miss as well with a 4. So excellent opening move for the Huns. Okay, that's going to take care of all the combat for the Huns. We'll be right back for the non-combat movement. Okay, not a lot of non-combat movement anyway for the Huns, so we're going to take these 2 cavalry and honey, and we will move actually both into Sakai. All right, we'll go ahead and this fellow here. Okay, there we go. That's the end of non-combat movement. And time for the Huns to purchase new units. Of course, they start off with the least amount of money at the beginning, at 5. And I think the Huns, are going to save their money until round 2. So the Huns will not be purchasing anything, and based on combat, we have increased our income by 4. So the Huns are actually tied up with the Goths at 9. So excellent opening for the Huns. All right, so that's going to take care of round 1, and we will have round 2 posted very soon. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Plastic Commando, over and out.